After surviving a near-fatal bovine attack, a disfigured cafeteria chef struggles to fulfill his dream of becoming Mayberry's hottest bartender, while also learning to cope with his loss of sense of taste. Searching to regain his spice for life, as well as flux capacitor, Wade must battle ninjas, the Yakuza, and a pack of sexually aggressive canines as he journeys around the world to discover the importance of family, friendship, and flavor. Finding a new taste for adventure and earning the coveted coffee mug title of World's Best Lover.
This is Spoiler Country, a podcast about comics, movies, whatever, but mostly comics. Enjoy.
Right, welcome back to Spoiler Country. I'm Kendrick Regan. That is Mr. Horsley. And today on our show, it's the review that you've all been waiting for, Deadpool 2.
Wait, I thought we were doing Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
You said the one everyone's waiting for. I thought this was Batman and Robin. I have all the wrong notes for this.
Good, let's get into it.
I had like 30 minutes of bat nipple jokes.
We open on Batman's nipples and then pan to Robin's codpiece.
And then to Batman's butt. Nah, Deadpool 2, man.
How awesome was that?
Well, first, before we talk about the movie, let's tell a little story here, okay? Let's do some story time.
Okay.
So, first, I want to say that we had early tickets to go see it a week before it came out.
We did.
Via fan things and stuff, whatever. We had tickets to go see it on the Thursday before. However, neither one of us could make it to go see it because we have real jobs. And it was in the middle of the day.
That's right.
Even though I told my wife, I was like, I could take PTO for this and we could go. She was like, well, you could, but you're not.
Right. Well, and the other thing is like, I don't know, man. It was like this whole fan thing and you had to register, but then you still might not get in.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not taking time off of work to go down and then not get in. I'd be pissed.
Right. I mean, I have enough PTO that I could have taken the day off and gone and just sat all day and gone to it. But I don't, my wife was like, as fun as that would be, neither one of our backs could handle that. I'm like, that's a very good point.
As we're getting ready to walk 5 days at San Diego Comic-Con.
Right. So then,
speaking of backs.
Right. So then fast forward to last Thursday when it came out, and I was like, babe, we should go see it. But unfortunately, last week I got hit with this huge project at work where I was sitting with one customer for 3 days in office. And on Thursday, I didn't get home until, Wednesday I didn't get home until like 10:30. Thursday I didn't get home until like 8 or 9. And Friday I didn't get home until about 8 or 9 as well because I was just there from 7
and I go and see it on the late Friday afternoon. And you're like,
son of a bitch.
Aren't you going to wait for me? I'm like, no, nope. I'm really not. So I got to go. I got to see this. I have a chance. And for some odd reason, I'm going to the late afternoon and it's freaking not empty, but it's empty for Deadpool 2. But I was able to leave work a little early and then get in before school actually got out.
Nice.
So there was no like teenagers in there or, you know what I mean?
No hooligans.
So it was no hooligans, as they like to say down at the high school. So it was good.
So I couldn't see it on Thursday night. Kendrick got to see it Friday during the day. I went to go see it Friday night, and my wife was like, Kaylee just started working again. So she's now working a full-time, 40-hour week job. And she's like, babe, I'm tired. You can go see it by yourself. And I'm like, I really don't want to see this alone. I want to see it because I see a lot of these movies with her is how I do this thing. It's fun that way. And I'm like, no, sure. I'll wait.
I saw Alone, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Fuck you. But
hey, you could have done the same.
I could have, but I didn't.
Such a good husband.
Aww. And then my buddy Jeff comes over because my buddy Jeff he's going to a fishing tournament with my son Kodi on Saturday, and he comes up Friday night to spend the night here, and we're like, dude, we can all go see Deadpool tonight. I'm like, well, let's wait until tomorrow night when Jeff's wife is here, so we can all go see it together. I'm like, you guys are killing me here, making me wait day after day to see this goddamn movie. So then, finally we went and saw it on Saturday night, like 9:20. I had to go like the 9:20 showing to see it.
Was it packed?
It was packed. Oh, it was packed.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But we got there and we see it. Yeah, we had the nice reclining seats, so it was good.
So did I. I had nice reclining seats. The friggin' legs go all the way up. No one on the left of me. No one to the right. Here I am. stuck in the middle with myself.
Right. Stuck in the middle with myself. Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, it was fun. You know, we had room. We went out to dinner beforehand, and it was nice.
Oh, so you guys made a night of it and everything.
Yeah. Although we went to this place in Auburn, which was this Auburn, Washington, this Longhorn barbecue place. It was terrible, dude. It was terrible.
Was it bad?
Oh God. I got a chicken Caesar salad, probably the hardest thing to fuck up on their menu. And it tasted like I was eating soggy Caesar salt salad. Oh. It was so gross. I was like, I'm not paying for this. This is disgusting.
Really?
Yeah. I had like three bites of it. I was like, I'm not eating this. This is
I wish I would have done that tonight, because tonight I took my mom out for Mother's Day because I wasn't able to get over there because we've been working in the yard the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And so today I got out of work and I just went straight, took the ferry over, went and picked up Mom.
Such a good son.
Of course. And we went to Silver City.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Silver City is nice.
Which is a nice little brewery / restaurant in Silverdale, Washington. And they actually have really good beers if you're a beer drinker. And anyways, I got the salmon pesto fettuccine. Dude, when I tell you that I got like 3/4 of the way and the rest looked like it was in a bowl of oil soup.
Ugh.
And I was just like, what the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, because I've had Alfredo from Olive Garden where I got it and I'm like, this looks like I'm just eating butter, like melted butter. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, I was just like, it was like, what is going on? And she was like, how's your food? And but it was before I got to that point. I'm like, oh, it's fine. And then she comes back when I'm like almost done, and I was just like, what is going on? And they ended up taking $10 off, you know? Yeah. But I was just like, come on, man. Who eats like that?
Right. This Longhorn place we went to, like, I'm pretty sure the waitress knew their food was crap, because she was like, when she brought me the salad, she was like, oh, is that enough chicken? Do you want more? I don't want you to not enjoy your food. Is that okay? Does it look okay to you? I'm like, okay. Something's weird here.
Yeah.
And like
warning signs.
Right. And like their baked beans were like, tasted
that's
like
what we call
burnt.
in the business, Johnny. Foreshadowing.
Right. Foreshadowing. Hey, nice segue there. But anyways, we had that. I wasn't that hungry, so I didn't eat that. I ended up eating, popcorn and soda like I always with the movie. And then we got to see Deadpool 2, and the Happy Time Murders trailer before that was fucking hilarious.
Dude, it's like they didn't do an Ant-Man and Wasp preview.
For this?
Yeah.
Well, this isn't in the MCU.
I know, but it's still Marvel, dude.
But it's not the MCU. I mean,
whatever. Is that how it works, though? Does it work where all the previews you see before a movie is from the same studio?
Not always, because there's been times where you'll see I'm pretty sure there was a Justice League trailer before one of the Marvel movies, and there was an Avengers trailer before before some DC movie.
So there you go.
It all comes down to who pays for it. But the studios can also say, hey, we're shipping this movie with these trailers and block out other movies.
Yeah. Well, which you probably want to do with Deadpool.
Right. I mean, they're all R-rated movies. You know, there was the Happy Time Murders one, which looks pretty funny.
Which one was that? Happy Time? Oh, that's the puppet one.
The puppet one, yeah.
Yeah, the whole can string.
Oh God!
String, you know what I mean? Oh my God! I was like,
you mean when the puppet's ejaculating in his office all over the walls? Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah. It's silly string,
right? Well, what's really funny about that story is, so years ago, probably a decade ago, I worked on a comic strip called Fuzzy Memory, which essentially was the tale of a human transporting into a human puppet hybrid world where he had to learn to coexist with puppets and humans. And it was kind of along the same lines. I mean, it was different, but it was kind of along the same general idea of humans and puppets and all R-rated and ridiculousness and stuff like that. And when that trailer dropped, the writer for that series messaged me. It was like, hey, they stole our idea. You know, jokingly, obviously.
Yeah. No, we're not joking. We want money.
Right. Well, no. This idea is much better than what we had, and I'll say it out loud.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the fuzzy memory idea; it was good, but this idea is a much more humorous take.
They like showed you this is actually what you're trying to do.
Pretty much. So that's how we're supposed to do that.
Now that's funny.
Right. So puppets jizzing in a room could be funny. I got it. Okay,
what trailers did they have? I don't remember. I remember that one, but I don't remember.
I only remember that one.
I have a terrible memory when it comes to that stuff. Like, I'm excited when I see it, and then as soon as the movie starts, I've forgotten all those trailers.
Yeah, I just remember that one because it was funny, because the puppet jizz scene. That's it.
It was so disgusting.
I mean, what else are you gonna call it?
String. It's like, how do you make silly string gross? There you go.
That's how. Right there.
That's how you do it. But it just doesn't stop.
No. That's what's funny about it.
But we're not here to talk about puppets and jizz and silly string. We're here to talk about Deadpool 2, which oddly kind of makes sense for a segue to Deadpool 2.
Right? Because it's kind of the same thing. I mean, I guess.
So what did you think of the movie? What's your initial reaction? Like, you got out, and what was the first thing you said?
My initial reaction when the movie was done was, oh my God, that was really good and funny.
Yeah.
But about halfway through the movie, I was like, man, this movie is kind of dragging.
Really?
Yeah. There was a part in the movie where I was like, this isn't as fast paced or isn't as keeping my attention as well as the first one did.
Oh, interesting. When did you start losing interest?
Before he formed X-Force. So all the stuff up until the middle of the movie, I was kind of like, okay, this is good, but it's kind of dragging out a little bit.
The prisons part?
Yeah, the prison part was a bit long for me. But I mean, I don't want. We're going to go through the movie here in a minute, but it's just there was a part where I was like, okay, let's move on. Let's get to the meat of the movie. You know? Oh,
that's interesting. I didn't have that feeling at all. I liked all of it. I liked the fact that Russell was a fat kid,
right?
You know, because it's always like some. You know, even when they're supposed to be nerdy, they're still kind of like in good shape. You can do all this stuff. You know what I mean? It's not.
I'm the nerdy bad guy, but I've got abs.
Yeah, you know, which isn't like unheard of. Don't get me wrong, but
no, but it's not the norm.
Yeah, it's not the norm. They do it for a model effect, and I felt Russell was very much. I liked him because of the fact that he seemed more of the type of people you see every day.
Right. He was just a fat kid from Australia.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or New Zealand, Australia, whatever he was from.
So Johnny, as anybody knows, is really the driving force of this podcast when it comes to notes and comes to that kind of stuff. I do come up with a lot of the ideas of what we're going to talk about, but you so almost always execute them so well. So thank you for putting this together.
Yeah, no
he
problem.
went through and did a plot outline, and it's really cool. So we're not going to go through it like we did on the Comics Code Authority. And if you haven't listened to that one, go back and listen to the Comics Code Authority. You'll learn some shit, and
you will.
Go do that. But we're going to use it as to keep us. But I love the opening of this movie because it opens with the Logan music box, and I was dying. I love how the opening of this movie is a spoiler for Logan.
Yeah.
So just so everybody know, we're gonna have spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, you know, go listen to an old episode. Maybe listen to our Infinity War because of course you've seen that already.
Right, because if you haven't,
and then come back, then go watch Deadpool 2, and then come back and then listen to this because because we're spoiler country because we get excited and we're gonna give you everything away. And not because we want to give it away, it's just because we can't help it because we love this shit so much.
I mean, if you want a non-spoiler review real quick, it was amazing. Go see it. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. There's our spoiler-free review right there. Amazing. Go see it.
Right. Who's a star? So now back star. So now back to the spoiler-filled review. Yeah, I love that it opens on the jukebox, the jewelry box, whatever it is, the music box.
The music box.
Logan with the log through his chest dead, and then he pushes the log down and the music starts and it starts rotating. It's like, that is so great.
Oh, man, I was crying because they did that as like, you dick, you should be in this movie.
Right, and not to give anything away towards the end, but he kind of is.
Not really. That's just, that's all.
We'll get there, but he kind of is.
Yeah. And then...
what's happening in the open scene?
Yeah, and then you have the scene. Well, you have the scene. I gotta redo my mouth there. It starts with Logan. Jesus Christ, we just got done talking to Logan. I'm saying Logan. It starts with Deadpool killing himself.
Essentially, yeah. Basically.
Yeah, he's trying to kill. I don't know if he's trying to kill himself. He knows it's not going to work, but he's like, fuck it. He blows himself up, which is actually a pretty cool. It's actually a pretty cool scene. But
he kind of like goes through, and what's cool, what I like about that scene the most is it like there's lots of little tells in that scene for what's going to happen in like 3 scenes down the road. Yeah, like when he hits the butter thing, when he looks at the toaster strudels, and a lot of things in that scene are foreshadowing for the scene 2 scenes away.
There it is again, the foreshadowing.
Well, it's an important word for this movie, I think.
It's important, yeah. Well, it's important for all stories. So
true.
So then we flash back 2 weeks, and we see DP, which cracks me up, taking out bad guys all over the world because he's like an assassin, right? He's
in Hong Kong, I think.
He's in full on assassin mode, just taking out everybody.
Right. I love it when he jumps and he flies in. And he's like, "Hit it, Dolly," and Dolly Parton starts playing.
Oh yeah, dude, that was great. The music this was I loved it.
The music with this one was better than the first one, I think.
Oh yeah, tell me about dubstep.
Yeah, dubstep's for pussies. You're so dark. You're from the DC universe. That's like we're jumping way ahead there. But
I just can't help it because you start talking about music, and the first thing that goes in my mind is dubstep. So
right,
and then so he's killing a lot of people. He gets to this one guy like in New York or wherever they're at, probably New York because it's Marvel. And
I mean everything's New York with Marvel.
Apparently, is the center of the universe there. Anyways, the guy locks himself in a safe room, pisses off Deadpool. He fucking says, "Fuck it, you can't be in there forever." Leaves, goes back to his girlfriend Vanessa.
Yep. And then you start seeing some of the stuff from the first scene.
Mm-hmm. And
like putting the toast.
I actually didn't like this part of the movie. I didn't like that this was the catalyst.
Oh, you didn't like that? Why?
Well, let's get through it. So he gets back to Vanessa. They have their kissy moments and do blah, 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 blah.
Kiss me like you mean it, Red.
Yeah. And then she gives him her IUD as a present.
Which, here's the thing. Did you know what that was?
Yeah, I did. When I saw it, I was like, yeah.
I knew exactly what it was. Most guys are like, what is that? And like, it's an IUD. How the fuck do you not know what that is?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
So, because they're going to try to have a kid.
Right.
Then, of course.
A Deadpool baby.
A Deadpool baby. Then, of course, the guy that locked himself in the safe room comes to the door with his crew, shoots up the apartment. Deadpool kills all those guys, but then the guy that was in the safe room is the last guy through the door, shoots his gun and hits Vanessa.
Well, Wade throws the cream cheese spreader and misses first as he shoots.
Yeah. Well, because the guy is falling and then, yeah.
Yeah. And shoots and kills Vanessa.
I hated that.
Why?
I think if you're going to kill Vanessa, you should have done it in the third movie. Because you already had this whole thing of her being kidnapped and him, and then everything was fighting for her. And then basically you've done the exact same thing again. And I didn't like that. I was like, why? And I knew it going in. I'm like, if they kill his girlfriend in this one, I'm going to be disappointed.
Well, it wasn't so much of him. The movie wasn't about him fighting for her. The movie was about him basically fighting to kill the last person who was responsible for her death, which was himself.
No, I get that.
It was,
and I get the existentialism of that. I just thought that it would have meant more because you would have been more drawn into their relationship and to who Vanessa is if you would have waited until the third movie.
Yeah, I can do that. I can see that.
And then because you'd have more of a relationship there, right? And I don't mean between Deadpool and her, but between you and her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she's funny, and she is funny, and she's a cool character. And then 5 minutes into the movie, you kill her, and it's just like,
right?
Well, what the fuck? I just sat through a movie of him saving her life and getting back together and doing all this, and then you kill her in the first 5 minutes. It was like, to me, it made the first movie completely moot. It was like, why the fuck do you even have the first movie?
Yeah, see, I was hoping that they would do more on her copycat persona. Like actually have her become copycat in this movie.
Oh, I didn't know she has a persona for copycat. I thought she was a character made for the movie.
No, she's copycat in the comics.
Oh,
and I was hoping they would show more of that.
This because that was my initial reaction.
Okay. I completely understand your initial. I understand why you would think that.
Yeah, I just thought
I was mostly just shocked. I was mostly just upset. Like, what? They fucking killed her? What the hell?
See, I wasn't shocked. I was like, I walked in going, if they kill, it was kind of funny. The first thing I said to myself, if they kill Vanessa as a plot point, retarded. It's like it's kind of to me. I thought that's lazy. It's lazy writing.
I wonder how this would stand up to. So years and years and years ago, Gail Simone had a start. Her start was in writing blogs, and her blog was called "Women in Refrigerators" because it was about pointing out in comics how oftentimes the female role is attuned to being a plot point to push the male character's agenda forward.
That's exactly what it was.
It became Women in Refrigerators because there's a comic book, a Green Lantern comic book where Kyle Rayner's girlfriend is found dead in a refrigerator, but her death is meaningless. All it is just to push Kyle into the next step of his phase. Her character becomes completely meaningless except for to push him forward. with that death.
Right.
So I'm wondering how if this still fits into that persona or that idea, or if there's more to it that can be pulled out of what her death meant.
Right. But when we'll get to it, it is a comic book movie, and we'll just leave it at that.
It is. And I actually, now that I think about it, before we move on, I think that her death would still fit into the woman in refrigerators motif, but it was also
totally
more, it totally fits, but I also think that it's like, I don't know, it just fits. I can't justify it. I was trying to think,
it just fits.
Can I justify this at all?
There was no other reason to have him move forward that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to me, it's like, there's a, I don't know, man. There's so much they could do with Deadpool in the movies, and the way they've brought this out, it's amazing, right? And he's like one of the few characters that you can just fucking do whatever you want because he breaks that fourth wall so much.
Which there was less of that in this movie.
I thought there was more.
Really?
It was just not directed right at the. It wasn't him looking at the camera, but he was saying things throughout the whole thing. Cue the music and shit like that.
Yeah, I guess it just felt like I guess it was the directness of it. Felt like there was less of it, but I don't know. I need to see it again.
Yeah, I do think the fact that they have a new director on this one, whoever did, I don't know who did it. I don't remember. Fantastic job on the direction. Yeah. It's beautifully shot. It looks amazing. The music, they use slow-mo at the right time, not an overuse of it. And
I hope they got that in slow-mo.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, the whole X-Force scene was amazing, but I'm getting ahead of myself.
Directed by David Leitch.
Oh yeah, well, David Leitch, man.
Did a great job. Yeah.
Good
Props
guy.
for you, man.
Yeah. So,
all right, so after this, it goes back to the whole blowing up scene. We're back to the beginning of the movie where he blows himself up.
That's right. And Colossus shows up, and he picks up all the weight parts and throws them in a duffel bag, and he ships them off to the X-Mansion.
I only wish they would have shown him picking up the weight parts, not just implied it, like him finding the head and the torso and throwing it in a bag. So what I found odd is, and we'll get to this later. Actually, I can put this down. So in the first movie, Deadpool cuts off his hand and he has to regrow his hand through a baby hand and stuff, right? But when he's all chopped up, he doesn't have to regrow his whole body. He just can put himself back together by holding his arm to his body and it reconnects, Like how does that work?
I think that would work. Which is weird. Like, why didn't they just take his lower half?
Well, we're not there yet. But yeah, there's a scene later on. But it's whatever. We'll get to it. All right, so what happens next?
It's just kind of funny because we go through that whole thing because you kind of brought it up. So he picks up all the parts, and then a couple scenes later, you see him kind of taped together.
Right, his duct tape on him.
Yeah, he's got duct tape on him, and it's kind of holding it together, which to me kind of makes sense that his healing factor would go, oh, it's there, and just kind of bring that stuff back together. And then let's just go on. Later on, he gets cut in half, and he gets pulled in half.
He has to regrow his legs from baby legs.
Yeah, which was hilarious.
And that's all we'll say for now. We'll talk about that more when we get there.
So, but that's what you're referring to is the fact that he, for some reason, they didn't just put him back together and let him sing. They actually had to regrow his bottom half.
Right.
So anyways, he goes back to the X-Men where we meet Negasonic again and Yukio.
Yep.
And which Yukio is that?
She is a very minor. I looked it up. She's a very minor character from the comics. They just grabbed a character that looked interesting they could use.
Well, what wasn't like Logan's girlfriend that turns into a Weapon X knockoff thing from Forge named Yukio? She's got the long fingers.
That's Lady Deathstrike.
Is that her name, Lady Deathstrike?
The one with the long fingers, yeah, that's Lady Deathstrike.
But I think her name is Yukio.
I
don't know. We have to look it up.
I'm doing that right now. Is Yuriko?
Oh, it's just really similar.
Yeah, it's Yuriko.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she at one time is, I think she's the girl that is in the Wolverine miniseries.
She's also been in the Wolverine, the movie.
Well, yeah. But no, she wasn't in the Wolverine. Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think they
and her name was Yukio there too. That girl's name was Yukio as well.
So I'm all confused because I saw her and I was like, what? No, wait, what? But that's okay because it is what it is. And then what are we talking about? Oh yeah, so he brings it back. We see Negasonic and Yukio again. They're oddly not really like Negasonic had a much more bigger role in the first one.
Yeah.
And I think they used her better in the first one than they do in this one.
I agree. But but in this one, she really didn't have she's there when she needs to be there, but they didn't, there wasn't a need for the scenes the places she's not in that she could have been, she really didn't need to be in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I also like the fact they introduced Yukio as Negasonic's girlfriend, and the whole, it's very nonchalant. And then the rest of the movie, it's like, Wade's like, hi, Yukio. Hi, Wade.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That made me laugh every time.
Yeah. I didn't really, I saw that they did that. They introduced each other as her girlfriend, but I was like, I don't know. Because I don't care. You know what I mean? It just goes right over my head. It's like,
right. See, the thing is, we don't care, but it's good for it to be there for other people who don't recognize that in movies, you know?
Right, right. And they freak out about it when they do see it.
Right. Like you and me, we don't give a shit. I don't give a shit who's taking who, or right.
It's like, exactly. I don't really, to me, it's like, I don't know. I honestly, I noticed it only because I thought the same thing. I wonder how many people are freaking out over that.
Right. I like seeing it in movies, in mainstream movies, because it's like, okay, cool. We're seeing more inclusion of other things in a non-intrusive way in a movie, you know?
Right. Right.
That's why I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, but really, honestly, it doesn't matter. It's like, oh, there's two people who love each other. Awesome. Good for them.
So he's starting to he's taped back together. Right. And Colossus is trying to convince him to join the X-Men, really.
And he's like, nope, fuck you. Nope, nope.
Doesn't want to do anything. And then it's so funny because he starts complaining about how he never sees this huge mansion, no other X-Men. What did you guys do? It's like you guys don't have the money to pay these people to be in this.
You think the studio throws a bone after the last one.
Yeah, exactly. And I love it because he goes to that. He's walking by and he turns around, he's talking to Colossus, and behind him you can see Beast, Professor X, Storm,
Jean Grey, Cyclops, the entire first class
yeah, pretty much. And it's so funny. And Beast turns around and slowly closes the door so Deadpool can't hear it.
It's like a quick 2-second cameo of the whole X-Men team's like, nope, we're not getting involved.
Oh, I loved it, man. I was dying. I read an article about that they're shooting the Dark Phoenix. And they shot that scene during the Dark Phoenix for Deadpool 2. And that's all green screened in.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they're not actually there on set.
Oh, they did a damn good job then.
Oh, yeah, they did a great job of it. And I was like, oh, wow, that's hilarious. I don't know. It was really funny. The whole theater busted up laughing when that happened.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I thought I knew it was coming, so I knew the cast, the X-Men cast was in the movie. I just didn't know where. And I'm just glad it was. I love how the fact a lot of the cameos in this movie are just blink, you miss them cameos.
Oh, and they do a great job of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know about you, but the crowd reaction in the theater was almost great. Just as good as the movie itself.
The crowd reaction in our theater was awesome.
Yeah, because people were just cracking up. And the cool thing is people were getting the Liefeld jokes.
Yeah,
it's like you can't draw feet. And I was just like, oh my God, I was cracking up. And if you've been on Twitter, you'll see Rob Liefeld. And if you don't know, Rob Liefeld is the father of Deadpool. That's the way to say it, right? Is he co-creator or is he
co-creator? He created with Fabian Niciez.
Yeah. And so, but he's kind of taken the role of everybody kind of sees him as the creator, right?
Well, because he was the artist.
Yeah. And anyways, one of the knocks on Rob Liefeld, who is an amazing artist in his own right. He really is. And he was one of the first real rock stars of the comic book industry. And the fucker did a TV ad back in the 90s.
Yeah, for Lee Jeans, right? Or something like that.
Or
Levi's.
Jordache or something like that.
Jordache. It was Jordache.
Yeah. But the fact that they hired this guy and had him on TV for doing commercials, they treated him like he was Jordan. He was one of the first comic book millionaires, Yeah, it was really cool. And the thing is that he's a super, super nice guy, and he's self-deprecating, and people tease him about this shit, and he's not like, oh, fuck you, or anything like that. He's like, yeah, so it's my weak point. What are you going to do?
Right.
And one of his weak points is the drawing of feet.
Right. It's drawing feet and proper anatomy and shit like that, but whatever. It's fine. I mean, I follow him on Twitter and stuff and Instagram, and I comment on his stuff all the time. He's a super nice guy. I've talked to him a few times to Twitter. He's incredibly nice. I talked to him in person one time. He's a great guy to talk to. I'm not a fan of his artwork. I don't have to be. It's not a big deal. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you like his artwork, more power to you. It's I all have like the same
What I like
things.
about his artwork is the over exaggeration of things, and I think that's where he shines. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
Like if you look at who's a good person to think of that has more, Alex Ross.
Alex Ross is, realistic.
Very realistic. You told me, I didn't know this. He brings models in to model for him for all the scenes that he does and how everything looks and how everything is. Like you want to
pictures and stuff.
Look at the human anatomy and way it should look at Alex Ross's stuff. Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
If you want an over-exaggeration of the world that we belong to and what comic books are, Rob Liefeld's a great person to look at. You know, guns are huge and they have this overarching huge like rounded parts to them and they're
pouches. So many pouches
and all this stuff. But the thing that's kind of cool with it is that, you know, it is an over exaggeration. You know, they don't have a 6-pack or an 8-pack like people can do. They have a 13 or they have a 15-pack or, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they have these giant shoulder muscles that looks like they have 2 boulders on them. And it's like, what are they doing? And if you think about it and the exaggeration of what he's showing, it starts to be like, that's really actually really cool. I mean, I don't know. That's what I think.
He made a comment on Twitter today talking about somebody was mocking one of his drawings with the feet. And he's like, it's called artistic impression. He's like, I prefer not to draw things realistic. It's artistic impression. You draw things that have emotion behind it. And
there you go.
Look a certain way that you want to do it. And I'm like, I can respect that, man.
Yeah.
I can respect that.
Yeah. So Colossus convinces DP to join them on a mission in a trainee jersey, which cracks me up. And then they go to,
it's like,
where do they go?
Just the fact that that's part of X-Men canon now, that the fact they have X-Men trainees wear trainee jerseys out on their first mission.
I love that. Know? I love it. Because it makes sense for what X-Men are supposed to be.
Right. But just imagine like Wolverine teaching a class with a bunch of people in trainee jerseys, how to do stuff. It's just,
my God.
The visual.
It's so awesome.
But yeah, they go to this mutant re-education center where a character named Russell or Fire Fist has gone crazy, for lack of a better term.
Right. And I loved Russell's character. I thought it was, he's like a 14-year-old punk.
Yeah.
And he's a little 14 overweight kid, have a lot of, it's
a lot of issues, and he's in a place that's not super nice.
Yeah, he's in a foster home where they're doing what? They're doing experiments on mutants, and they're
torturing. They're torturing him pretty much.
Yeah,
they're re-education center,
and physically torturing him.
Yeah, which Deadpool finds out while he's talking Russell down that these guys are abusing him, and it doesn't end well for some of those guys.
No, well, one guy.
Well, the creepy mouth guy. The guy looks like he's a rapist.
Yeah. And
you got a rapist mouth.
Yeah, totally. And then when he's realized being abused, he shoots the guy. Deadpool shoots the guy and kills him. Which and then at the time is not a good idea because surrounded by ambulances and fire trucks and police, it's a whole scene because Russell is outside the foster care freaking out and his mutant ability is going off hinge. Yeah. Right. And he can shoot fire out of his hands.
Right. Unlike Pyro, who needs to have fire to manipulate it, Fire Fist or Russell can create fire out of nothing.
Right. Out of the air. And and Deadpool is the wrong guy to have him go and try to talk him down. But he's gonna do it, right? He's gonna get out there, he's gonna do it. And he shoots this guy, which of course causes all panic and freak out. And the cops come out of nowhere and they put a mutant power suppressor.
Colossus tackles him first.
Yeah,
and they put a mutant power suppressor, which
collar,
essentially on Deadpool is a death sentence.
Yeah, because he's riddled with cancer.
Yeah, so all it means is it's going to bring his cancer back,
which in an oddly way is exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it's to him, it's a poetic ending.
Yep. So they take Russell and DP to the ice box, which is a mutant prison, which they don't say actually where it's at, but it's in a very cold place.
It's probably somewhere cold, like Minnesota.
Right. And it's funny because this is where the movie kind of loses Johnny from the beginning of our conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it just. I don't know, I didn't hate this area, but it was just like I was just like, okay, let's get there. Where's Cable? Let's get to the fun stuff.
Yeah. And then they go through, and then they're in prison. And while they're in prison, there's a monster down below.
Yep, they learn about the big bad monster in the basement, and DP turns to the camera and goes, "It's like foreshadowing."
There's that word again,
right?
You know what's funny? When I said foreshadowing at the very beginning, I totally forgot about that whole scene.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I didn't say that because of the foreshadowing, and then you said it, and so it's become the word of the day. It's kind of funny.
It's funny. That's hilarious.
So, of course, Russell has been probably watching Oz.
Yeah, probably a little too much Oz.
Yeah,
a little too much those bad cops.
You got to realize he's like this 14-year-old fat kid, and he goes, "I've got it hidden in the prison pocket, if you know what I mean."
I've got a shank hidden in the prison wallet. And I don't want to. Oh, I know what you mean. Oh, I hear it. I can hear it.
Yeah. So he pulls a pen shank out of his ass, and he's gonna
take out the biggest guy in the yard and make himself the new master. To watch Deadpool or Wade just like, this is a bad idea. Don't do this.
Right.
To which we meet Black Tom Cassidy.
Yep, they get beat up by Black Tom Cassidy. Enter all the racist jokes by Deadpool.
Right. Which, Black Tom Cassidy, he was originally supposed to be the big bad of the movie.
Really?
Yeah, he was supposed to be the bad guy, the antagonist in the movie, within one of the antagonists in the movie, but they realized they had too many antagonists and other options were better, which is why what happens to him later happens.
Right. So then what happens after? Once they get beat up by Black Tom Cassidy, the whole thing, we finally get to see Cable.
Right. We see Cable in the future and standing in a desolate, burnt down apartment. We see some charred bodies in the ground. Yep. And he doesn't really say anything. He just picks up this burnt teddy bear and then dials his watch and hits it and travels back in time.
You know what's funny is we had this whole thing about Batman Ninja and the whole time traveling thing and how it was just ridiculous. But here we are with a time traveling thing, and they just do it so well that you're like, well, this makes sense.
Time travel's not a time. I love time travel stories. You just have to do it right.
Right. And these guys do it right.
Yeah. Batman Ninja did not do it right.
Right.
That's the difference.
But I digress. So then we see Cable, and so Cable is played by Josh Brolin, who has famously played Thanos on Infinity War. And I'm having a real hard time with this. I know they're two separate universes. I get it. But to me, if I was the casting director of Deadpool 2, I'd be like, he's been Thanos since like 2010 or 2012. You know what I mean? They've been building up. They're going to release this the same spring that we're releasing Deadpool 2.
Same month.
Yeah, same month. It's crazy. I don't think I would cast him as Cable at that point, even though he does a fantastic job. He really does.
He's amazing as Cable. He's amazing.
He is. I still don't like it because as soon as he opens his voice, all I hear is Thanos, and all I want to see is Thanos, and I don't. And that's who he is to me. And now I have him in my head as Cable, but I can't see him as Cable. As soon as he talks, I hear Thanos.
He wasn't purple, so that's good.
It doesn't matter. If you close your eyes, and then it's just like, okay, it's Thanos. And it's just, I don't know.
By that same token, you close your eyes with watching Deadpool, you see Green Lantern.
No. That's a huge difference. That is a huge difference. First of all, Green Lantern was lame, okay? And it wasn't a build-up and a huge, event. Thanos has become an event, and you built him up through years of different movies,
go back to
pulling
Deadpool,
it all
the
together,
first Deadpool,
and then there he is.
Yeah, but if you go back to the first Deadpool, that wasn't an event or a build-up. That was just a movie with the same guy who played Green Lantern.
Dude, to me, this is paramount to having James Earl Jones play another character on a Star Wars flick.
Okay, what about Chris Evans playing Captain America and the Human Torch?
Still a different... Dude, there's scale here. There is a different of scale of what those characters mean and how much they've been built up and how much money those movies has made, even though at the end of the day, you could say that doesn't matter. It's just, money. But the fact is, you're not looking at the Avengers and Fantastic Four from Fox on the same level or scale of what those movies are. In 20, 30 years, you'll probably have never watched Fantastic Four with Chris Evans as the Human Torch, but you have probably watched Infinity War a bunch of times.
I'm not saying you're not wrong.
I'm just saying, I get you're playing devil's advocate a little bit, but this is what goes through my mind.
No, I'm not, and I'm not really trying to play devil's advocate. Whatever. My point is, it's kind of devil's advocate, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be like, my point is I don't see a problem with it being the same actor playing the two characters because it is different universes, and it allows for some really good in jokes in Deadpool. But I think Brolin does a really good job of, he does play the characters differently.
He does. And Brolin does, like I said, Brolin does a fantastic job. He looks the part. He plays the part great. In my
he's a
head,
little short, but
I can't help but hear Thanos. I can't help it.
Yeah.
And that's what I see, and it's just like, it ruins it for me. Because there was like, they were going to do Pierce Brosnan as Cable, who would have been great.
Meh, I guess.
He would have been great. I love Pierce Brosnan.
I love him too, but he's a little old these days.
Cable is fucking old. That's the whole point. He is old. And so it's like, you know, anyways, I'm just saying, I just kind of wish they would have went with somebody else for that fact alone. And it was just like,
all right,
this is weird. I'm hearing.
So I assume at this point, through your frustration, you walked out?
Oh, of course. Didn't see any of the movie. No, God,
right.
Come on.
So
I got over it pretty
over.
quickly. Don't get me wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, he's done such a fantastic job that, you know, he does win me over, right?
Right.
You know, I'm just saying, I just wish it would have been somebody else in the fact, because I don't know, man, it just kind of bugs me. It's like, to me, it's be like James Earl Jones playing another character in Star Wars. You'd only ever hear Darth Vader every time he opened his mouth. And you could say, well, they're different universes, but it's still fucking Marvel, man. It's still Marvel. And it's like, you might want to say it's different universes, but it's fucking not, man. It's still Marvel. And it's just,
well, I mean,
it's just like,
yeah, it's still Marvel, but I mean, it is a different universe. But I mean, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It is.
Only in the movie terms, but that's just bullshit, dude. It's only in a different universe because Disney doesn't own the rights to those characters right now for movies.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, they are.
But I don't care about that
just as much as DC and Marvel are movies in the movies.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it's different.
I don't think it's Marvel.
It's
Marvel.
I'm totally fine with people having their opinion, but in this case, this isn't an opinion. This is a fact. You're wrong. They're different.
I know it's a fact,
different
dude.
universes.
I get what you're saying, right? I understand. You can say it's a fact. I get it. There's supposed to be two fucking separate universes, but the only thing that's keeping them, okay, fuck. But the only thing that's keeping him that way is because Disney doesn't own those rights. So to me, coming from reading the comic books, they're in the same fucking universe. There's no difference in the universe.
The only thing keeping Disney and Marvel from being in a separate universe is that two different companies own them. I mean,
Fox.
It's the same concept.
It's all Fox. But I mean, it's
all right. Moving on.
It's really irrelevant. It's just in my head, and then I get over it right away. Right.
I see that.
But, well, for this is the podcast. We're talking about it.
10 minutes later, you're still over it.
Whatever, dude. Hey, don't give me shit for having an opinion. I'm just saying.
I'll give you shit as much as I want to. That's what the podcast is for.
Well, that's the whole point. This is my opportunity to voice it, right? Seriously, out of the whole fucking movie is killing Vanessa at the beginning and Josh Brolin as Cable are my only two things. And I love Josh Brolin, and now if they switch Cable out, I'd be even more mad, right? which is a fucking oxymoron now that
they just can't make you happy.
No.
God.
And I love and you know me, man. I'm in the bag for any fucking comic book movie. You know,
right?
I don't know. Next time when you watch it again, close your eyes when he opens his mouth and tell me what you see.
You should never close your eyes when a man opens their mouth in front of you. I'm just saying.
That's disgusting.
You went there.
No, you went there.
Anyways, next Cable shows up with there's two rednecks at a truck. Talking about wiping their ass.
Never open your mouth with a man named Cable. Wait, what'd you say? Never close your eyes in front of a man named Cable? Is that what you said?
No, I said never close your eyes in front of a man opening his mouth.
Oh my God. That's just so ridiculous. Yeah. So Cable shows up, played by the fantastic Josh Brolin. Ignore all my shit. If you guys hear Thanos, then you get what I'm saying. But at the same time,
right.
He man, I can't stretch enough. He's done a fantastic job. Anyways, I got to move on. I can't stop talking about it.
Yeah, we got to get past this, man. We're stuck on Cable here. Come on. It's been 10 minutes now.
Yeah, but it's pretty fucking, it hasn't been that long. But anyways, it's pretty funny because he shows up with two rednecks by the truck. And like you were saying,
talking about wiping their ass.
Yeah. And the funny thing is I didn't recognize those guys.
Neither did I. Not at all.
And I told you who the guy that talks the most is. And you're like, really?
You told me who one of them is.
Yeah, and then you like keep back. You're like, the other guy was Matt Damon. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right. Yeah. So one of them's Alan Tudyk from Firefly and all the other stuff. The other one's Matt Damon, and they're both like heavy redneck makeup. And Alan Tudyk is explaining the finer points of how to wipe your ass properly with toilet paper and then moist wet wipes, then toilet paper again to get the wet, and it gets it all nice and clean for you.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And then does Cable kill that guy?
I don't know. He shows up and he asks him what year it is, and they like, what kind of question is that? And he shoots him with something like it looks like a taser.
Yeah, it looks like a taser, right?
And he's wearing the get-up Cable's wearing when he first shows up, that weird like time jump suit thing. It's like, I hope they change that outfit.
Oh yeah,
that looks really stupid.
It's like, are you going diving?
Right.
That's what I thought.
Like a dive suit?
Are you diving?
Yeah.
Cable takes their truck.
That was funny.
And he heads to the icebox.
That's right. Well, yeah, it's the icebox, and then this is fun because I don't know. We get to this point, and I mean, I said I was like, I was disinterested here and there, but it's not that I was disinterested. It's just I was like, I think I just wanted to. I have a problem when I watch movies. When I really want to watch movies, is I just keep wanting the next big thing to happen.
That's because you're like this in life, though. It's like you're kind of like, let's just go, let's do it. And I'm like, let's keep it down, let's slow it down a little bit. Let's talk about what we're gonna do. And go, no, let's just do it. Let's go. It's like, so I can see you like watching this, going, fuck, just hurry up, just go.
I'm not gonna lie, watching movies that I haven't seen before kind of gives me a little bit of anxiety.
That's hilarious.
Because I want to know what's happening next.
That's why you're always like, just tell me what happens. I don't care if you spoil it for me.
In some things, but just tell me, because then it takes the anxiety out of it and I can enjoy it.
That's kind of funny, man. Like, I'm the exact opposite. I like the buildup. I like a slow burn. Like, I like a movie that builds and then builds on top of that and then and then the big reveal, and then it's like like The Others with Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Dude, the ending of that movie, the first time I saw it, I was at my brother's house. It was me, my brother, and our buddy Mike. And we didn't know we just knew it was a ghost story, right? But we didn't know anything about it. We didn't know the ending, because this was basically, I guess it wasn't pre-internet or anything like that, but we weren't connected so much. I guess that's the way to say it.
Right.
Like, Facebook wasn't out.
Right.
So, there's a good chance you're not going to, unless you look for it, you're not going to be spoiled.
It was early 2000s.
Anyways,
movie too.
We watched that thing. At the very end, when the big reveal happens, all of us looked at each other and was like, oh my God. It's like no one saw the ending coming. It was awesome. And
right.
It was just, so I liked that. And so
I like it too.
So it kind of cracks me up to you. You're like, it gives me anxiety. I just need to know. I need it to go.
Well, and it's also because in my head, I'm like, this is the sequel, so I'm constantly saying, okay, is this as good as the first one? Where, how was I reacting to the first one? Do I like this one as much? I'm comparing it as I'm watching it the whole time.
Do you actually think that? Is this as good as the first one? I like the first one. Do I like this one as much, or I like it better? Is that what goes through your head?
I'm analyzing. It does. I'm analyzing every scene as I'm watching it.
Wow. I see.
I enjoy it
at all. To me, I just watch it, and then my reactions will come in fleeting moments, like what we talked about. And I don't want to get into Cable again because there'll be another 30 million years. But my reaction goes to like that. But then it's always fleeting. And then once I've watched the movie, then it's like I go back and I think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's always the first time. I did the same thing with Infinity War. We watched Infinity War. All I could do was analyze the whole movie as we're watching it and like compare it to everything else before it.
I love that.
I still really enjoyed it, but I was analyzing the whole thing as we watched it.
I went and saw it again.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
I still wanted to take. So I bought the movie pass from Costco. The 4 passes for $35, and I'm gonna use that and take the kids.
Oh, nice. Here pretty soon. Why don't they? How come movie theaters don't do like a membership? You buy a membership and you can go to see like 5 free movies a month or something, or
like Movie Pass, but actually make it good.
Yeah. Like you pay $30 a month and you can come watch, 5 movies a month. Or as many as you want during 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Off hours.
Yeah.
Right. Off hours. I would do that because I love movies.
Yeah. Anyways,
back to the icebox. So in the icebox, Cable is attacking the icebox.
That's right.
With all of his fancy guns. With his big fancy gun.
Well, he gets into the icebox and then basically, I guess he's not killing people. I don't know, man. Is he killing people? Like shamelessly?
I don't think he is. I don't think he's shamelessly killing people. He's just kind of getting him out of his way.
Because if he is killing people, holy shit, man. He makes the Punisher look like a fucking pussy.
Well, he's Cable. His gun has a fucking volume dial on it. Close to 10.
I love that, dude. I was crying.
Well, I don't know. I kept trying to see if it went to 11 or not.
Oh, that would have been hilarious
if it went to 11.
Yeah,
so
I did notice that it was like an amp dial, though.
Yeah, it's to be exact. That is a Fender Strat guitar dial.
Oh,
volume.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
But he's targeting stuff, and they see, and then, all the cells come opened up.
Yep, because he makes it to the control room, and he finds out.
Yeah.
And he looks up, and they show Wade Wilson.
Right.
Like he's looking up Wade Wilson.
Yeah,
but
it appears that Cable is after Deadpool. Yeah, but that's just a ruse.
It's just a ruse.
It's a red herring. Yeah, but he's actually after Russell.
What, which is funny, though, is when they brought it up, and I was like, oh, he's looking for Wade Wilson. And then I said out loud, he must be looking for Russell. And the guy one seat over, because I was like, nobody left or right of me, but the guy one seat over was like, shh. Because I was like, oh, sorry. Like I was talking to myself.
Right. Whoops. Yeah, and so remember, for the first part of this fight, Deadpool and Russell and all the guys in the icebox are powerless because they have the power inhibitor collars on.
All the prisoners in the icebox are mutants, but they have power inhibitor collars on around their neck.
Yeah, so Deadpool decides he's not going to let Cable hurt Russell once he realizes that Cable's after Russell. Right. It's like, you're not going to, he's my friend or whatever, and they end up fighting, and Deadpool at the point is, already beat up from Black Tom Cassidy, has cancer running through his body, and no healing powers. So DP and Cable are fighting on the rafters, the railings, or the walkways, whatever they're called. Walkways, there you go.
They're fighting.
And throws him, right. He throws Deadpool, and he hits one of the railings, and his collar hits it, and he kind of malfunctions a little bit. Right. And I don't know, does Russell actually do anything to the collar at that point with his little butt shank, or is that later?
No, that's...
I can't remember if he uses he uses the butt shank to stab Cable, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So he stabs Cable with a butt shank to whatever.
I think the collar flies off when he breaks his neck on the table, right?
Yeah, well, before that, it gets hit on the railing and breaks. Yeah. So it's already broke. When he flies off, because he goes, hello, superpowers, and, they fight some more, and then Cable knocks him off, and he falls, and, does this really, I'm dead landing on a table, and, breaks his back and his neck and stuff, and Cable also falls off, but Cable gets up and walks away, thinking Deadpool is dead, and then but he jokes on him, he's not dead.
Right. Well, he says hello superpowers once he wakes up from having his back and neck broken.
Oh yeah, okay, that's it. After he falls, okay.
He's like, hello superpowers.
right, which is like,
it looks really, really weird. The way he landed on that table and everything, it was like, oh.
It was very CG.
Yeah. Even though you knew he was coming back, it's still kind of course, they keep fighting. And then,
well, did you have a very fugitive moment feeling in that scene of them fighting in that tunnel thing?
I did, and I was actually surprised they didn't make any jokes about it.
Yeah, because it just reminded me of I kept waiting for a one-armed man joke.
Yeah, me too.
Of some kind.
Yeah, me too. And then
because it just felt like that scene.
But during that scene is it's actually kind of important because Russell overhears Deadpool saying that he doesn't care about him.
Right, he doesn't care about that kid. He's just whatever. Right. And I don't think Deadpool means it the way Russell hears it.
No, he doesn't mean it at all. He's just saying that to Cable. To because Cable's like, what's your deal with this kid? And da 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 da. And it's like,
and not to give anything. He doesn't want to give anything away.
He doesn't want to give anything away. He doesn't want to give him an upper hand on anything. That's exactly right.
Right. So they end up falling off out this thing and down this mountain.
Yeah, and into an icy lake.
Right. So Cable doesn't go to the lake. Cable goes somewhere else, but Deadpool hits his head on a rock and goes into the lake and goes to an icy grave. And throughout this whole movie, every time Deadpool, quote unquote, dies, he goes into this afterlife thing where he sees in his apartment where he sees Vanessa, but he can't cross this wall. And she keeps saying, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. This happens again when he goes in the lake. Yeah. And then he comes back out. He comes flying back out of the water, and he has a huge chunk taken out of his head, and it's really gnarly looking.
Yeah. He's got it. Yeah. And then, but it was kind of weird because then the next scene he's in the bar.
Right. Yeah. He's back in the bar with Weasel. I'm like,
I feel like they cut a scene out.
Yeah. There's probably a deleted scene that kind of connects those two. It's all of a sudden he's just back.
And really it's a Deadpool movie, and that he heals. So it's like, whatever, he made it back to wherever he's going.
Right.
And for him, it's like, he can't go back into the prison. And he's gotten Cable out. Cable's not in the prison. So Cable takes off. He takes off. He goes to the bar. And he's going to basically, this is when we see Russell overhearing Deadpool saying he doesn't care about him, kind of freaks out, kind of internalizes it because he's 14 years old. So he's,
Right, internalize
you internalize everything. And he takes his food because he's back in prison. He takes his food down to the basement, and he bonds with the monster in the basement.
Now, before we haven't said who the monster in the basement is yet, have we? Okay, good. Because even though I had heard about who it was and
I didn't know who it was.
Knew, right? I still couldn't remember who it was when I was watching the movie, so I didn't know until the actual reveal later on. Like, I couldn't remember who it was.
Looked
Like,
way better than before.
Yeah, we'll get there. But I didn't. I was happy I couldn't remember, but I was still kept thinking, who is it? Who is it? And Kaylee was going, who's in the basement? I was like, I don't know. I don't remember.
Right. They did a good job.
But they bond
of getting that suspense up.
Yeah, and what was cool is like their bonding knock the.
Yeah.
That's what I do with my kids all the time.
Yeah. I think that's what a lot of people
constantly doing that knock. Yeah, I do that. I do that shave and a haircut, and they do the 2 bits part.
Yeah.
Right, which I always think of Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, that's what I think of.
So, and then it comes to the fact that they learn that Russell and all the inmates are being transferred via convoy to a maximum security prison
because of Cable,
out of the icebox. Because of Cable, because he destroyed it. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
so they're like, okay, well, we're going to take them somewhere else. And then DP, Weasel, and Dopender, who I loved in this movie, Dopender cracked me up, start to recruit help for the new. Well, it's not the. Is it his new X-Force team, or it's just the X-Force team?
It's just his new team, which he later calls X-Force, right? And they go through the whole headshots, which is funny because all the headshots they use are actually those actors' headshots.
Yeah, that was funny,
right? He goes through, and Terry Crews shows up as Bedlam, who has the ability to manipulate electrical fields, and Zazie Beetz shows up as Domino, whose power is luck.
That's not a mutant power.
Luck's not a power. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. The whole exchange is great. And Zazie Beetz was amazing. I just want to put that out there. She was so good as Domino.
And then the Vanisher.
You've got the Vanisher.
Let's see who that is.
Yeah, because he's invisible
the whole time, which was cracking me up. Because when they jump out of the plane or out of the helicopter, it just looks like somebody just took that whole thing and just threw it out the door. You know what I mean?
It's just a backpack floating.
Oh my God, I was cracking up. And then I love the ordinary dude.
Right. Rob Delaney as Peter.
Oh my God. Have you seen Rob Delaney has a show on Amazon Prime where him and his wife in England have kids? It's pretty funny.
I haven't seen it.
It's pretty funny. And he's a big dude. That guy is a big dude.
Nice.
It's like
Louis Tan. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I was funny that they had Rob Delaney be Peter, the regular guy.
Yeah, it was just I loved it. I don't know. And then go ahead.
Right.
Sorry.
Louis Tan is Shatterstar, who is an alien from Planet Mojo World, which I was like, are they really bringing aliens into this now? Because that's kind of, they are. They did.
Yeah. Well, what's funny about Planet Mojo World? That's where who we've talked about
Mojo.
is Longshot is from.
Yeah. So now I guess now they can bring Longstar in the movie.
They could bring Longshot into the movie, but Shatterstar, his whole costume looks ridiculous on screen. It is. It looks so bad
in the comics
too.
Yeah,
it's so bad. It's like, oh,
he's a ridiculous character in the comics.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's just as dumb.
And then Bill Skarsgård as Zeitgeist,
who was Acid Spit.
And Bill Skarsgård played the clown in the new It.
Yep. And his dad was in the Avengers movies, and his brother has been in lots of things.
Yeah, his brother was Eric in True Blood
and Tarzan.
Yep. They got quite the family over there.
Alexander Skarsgård.
Very good-looking family.
A very attractive family, that's for damn sure.
It's like, God damn, I hate you.
Right. And so they make their team. They're going to go out and they're going to go try and rescue Weasel on the convoy. Right. And then after they leave, it cuts to a scene where Cable has now captured Weasel.
I love that whole scene. I'm not going to tell you anything. I will tell you everything.
Right. Like first I'm going to find something that bends. I'm going to bend it until don't bend no more. And it's not supposed to bend. I'm like, first off, you don't have to go to 1. I don't like pain, so we'll just talk.
TJ Miller is so good in that role, man. Oh.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that he kind of turned out to be a douchebag in real life.
What are you talking about?
He called in a bomb threat on a plane, but he got arrested by the FBI like 3 months ago.
Why did he do that?
He was drunk.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff that people are like, let's stop giving this guy roles because he's kind of fucking things up for people.
Oh, that's weird. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I think he's hilarious and stuff, but anymore after that, I'm like, well,
I wonder if he'll be in the third one.
That's kind of a big deal calling him bomb threats. There's a good notion that he won't be.
Huh. That's interesting.
Because of that. Yeah. He lost a lot of contracts because of that.
Wow.
As he should have. But don't call him bomb threats, man.
Yeah, that's weird. So then
anyways, he tells Cable about the convoy. He tells Cable about the convoy, but he also mentions there's gonna be a high wind warning.
Right.
Which I was like, that's That's an odd thing to add in there, but I mean, it's Weasel.
Well,
whatever.
the thing is they say it like a few times, and I was like, it didn't even like get on me until they jump out of the plane and all hell breaks loose.
Right. So they go to jump out of the plane, and there's like, oh, there's a high wind advisory. Ah, you'll be fine. They all jump out, and they're all like in the cool superhero like falling down and doing their stuff, and then they pull their chutes.
Yeah. Hey, Deadpool made it. Domino made it.
Yeah.
Nobody else makes it.
Right. So Deadpool hits. Yeah. This was like one of the big shockers of the movie because everybody expected X-Force to be a thing, but no. Deadpool hits a billboard and lives. Bedlam hits a bus and just fucking dies. Like boom. And then Shatterstar goes right into helicopter blades, and green blood goes everywhere. Vanisher hits a power line, and we find out that Vanisher has a real person playing him, and it's Brad Pitt.
Right. I was like, oh my God, it's Brad Pitt. That's hilarious.
And he's on screen for like less than a second.
2 seconds.
I think. Yeah. Peter lands in front of Deadpool and lives, but then Zeitgeist lands in a mulcher across the street, and then Peter goes to save him.
And then, how does Peter die?
Like,
because he gets spit on by Zeitgeist.
Yeah. It's like X-Force for life, Zeitgeist, X-Force for life. Yeah. Bleh. And then burns, like pulls his arm off and he dies. And it's like,
I love that scene, man, because it was so
right.
It made sense for what you're watching. You know what I mean?
Well, as soon as Bedlam died and Shatterstar, I was like, they're all going to die. All of them with Domino are going to die.
Yeah. And then Domino, of course, Lucky is just like basically skipping down the street while freaking cars are flipping over.
Well, and Domino and Deadpool are talking back and forth on the intercoms, whatever, their comm radios, and it's like, look, it's not really, the power's not really cinematic as she's like has cars flipping over her and explosions going off, and she's like just walking through it unscathed.
I loved it. I was cracking up.
And then she gets into the car of the convoy in the driver's seat of the truck that has Russell in it.
Okay, I got it. What?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm in. Wait, what do you mean you're in?
Yeah, I love how you wrote this down. Domino lands and gets in the convoy through a series of lucky events.
Yeah, I mean, how else do you describe that whole scene? It was just great.
And then Cable shows up.
Yeah.
And DP, Cable,
we got trouble.
and Domino fight in the convoy. And they're just taking out all the prisoners.
We just mentioned that Deadpool gets to the convoy on a Vespa, a scooter.
Yeah, he does. He takes a scooter and goes. It's pretty good.
And then he gets onto top of one of the police cars and has to drive it with the sword stabbed through a guy's foot, bending over, looking under his butt.
This is so hard.
This is a lot harder than it looks. I'm like, no, it looks pretty hard.
I love it when then Cable kills Black Tom Cassidy, which is kind of funny, especially now knowing that Black Tom Cassidy was going to be an antagonist of the movie, but he dies rather.
And I miss. You killed Black Tony. How dare
Black
you?
Tom, you're such a racist.
Yeah, I'm not a racist.
Yeah, he calls him a racist like quite a few times, doesn't he?
Right. It's like, it's pretty funny.
It's really funny.
And then, and then the convoy crashes and Russell gets out and Russell lets out the monster in the basement.
Well, yeah, Deadpool thinks he's saving Russell, and Russell runs and lets out the monster, who ends up being dun dun dun,
the Juggernaut.
Right. And I like the fact that they say, because in the X-Men movies, the first trilogy, the Juggernaut is just some dude.
It's Vinny Jones.
Yeah, it's Vinny Jones, but I'm saying that the character is just a guy that
right. It wasn't.
They don't put any emphasis.
They name drop that.
But Juggernaut is Professor X's brother, and he talked about it in Deadpool 2, which was great because it's like they never talk about that, and it's actually a very meaningful thing. The reason that he got that helmet, he got his powers by magic. He's not a mutant. You know that, right?
Yeah. And he wears the helmet so Professor X can't read his mind.
It also makes him
control him.
It also makes him invulnerable. So once he starts running,
he's invulnerable.
You can't really stop him.
Nothing stops the Juggernaut.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing, and it's a magical helmet, which I don't think he's.
Like when he gets out, he goes, "I'm gonna rip you in half."
Yeah, and he picks up Deadpool and he rips him in half.
I mean, he does exactly what he says he's gonna do. And then, God, the scene after that when he's like, "Just use my legs as backpack," and Domino's walking out with Deadpool on her back with the two halves.
Right.
Now here, and this is what we talked about earlier. I wasn't quite sure because it's like, if he can just put himself back, push the pieces together and like connect it, why didn't he just do that there? Why did he have to grow baby legs? Yeah,
that's the thing that we were trying to talk about before was he grew baby legs and grew it back and didn't have the.
I mean, it was funny as hell.
Well, yeah, it was all for the setup.
there.
I mean, that's all it really was for.
The basic instinct scene with the baby legs and the tiny little baby penis.
Right. You know what I liked?
Yeah.
You know what's funny, but we missed it though? I can't talk. Rewind back is when the big reveal of Juggernaut, Deadpool freaked out and starts saying what comic books he was first appeared in.
Issue numbers.
It was awesome. It was actually really cool. It was like a really
you're my favorite. You're my favorite.
I think that what's so cool about the Deadpool movies is that you can tell these guys really love the comic books.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? And the fact that they do things like this, and Deadpool's a character that allows you to do things like that, like start naming off all the comic books that he was in and how much
allows you to have that fanboy moment in movie.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's one of the cool things about it, man. It's different.
I read a thing from the writers about these movies, and the movies they're very. There's a lot of odd things happening in the movies, but for the most part, they are very grounded in reality of what they are.
Right.
Which is they are, but in a reality where a guy breaks the fourth wall and regrows his body parts, but still.
Right. Right. It's crazy. It's crazy. I love it. I don't know.
Yeah. So what happens after he gets ripped in half and Domino walks off with him?
Colossus picks him up and they take him back to his apartment.
No, Colossus isn't there. Domino.
Oh, is it Domino that picks him up?
Yeah, Colossus and Negasonic aren't there yet. They weren't part of X-Force.
Well, it's been a couple of days. Give me a break.
Yeah. No, they go back to the apartment and they have Blind Al there, and he gets Blind Al to touch his little baby penis, which is really weird.
It was hilarious. I just love it that he's just sitting there like just everything hanging out. And it's funny because they show him, but you just see his shirt just covers the penis.
Yeah, right. And you've got Domino there, you've got Weasel there, and you've got Dopinder there, and then Cable shows up.
Cable shows up, and then they talk it out, I guess you could say.
They talk it out for
the most part.
Talk it out.
Hey, give me some time to talk with him. I can bring him back. And Cable says, "You have
because Cable wants to kill him,
but we don't know why yet."
No, he tells us why there.
No,
he tells us. Isn't that where he tells the story of his kids?
Not until he asks him about the what's with the bunny. Well, what's with the teddy bear? Isn't that when he tells him? Am I confusing it?
No, I'm pretty sure that's part of how he convinces Deadpool to join him was to tell him the story of that Russell in the future showed up and burned him down.
Oh, you're right. You're right. And Deadpool 2. Deadpool says, "Give me a time. It hasn't happened yet." And you say it's once he kills. That's when he turns. But if you give me a chance to talk to him, I can talk him down off of it. Because he kills the
about 30 seconds.
Because they figure out he kills the headmaster of the foster home that he went to, that he lived at.
Right.
So that was interesting. And Cable says you got 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So they go back. Deadpool goes and contacts Colossus via Say Anything.
Right. He's got a little phone, and then he's got a little app that shows a little boombox on his phone, and he's playing I can't remember the name of that song, but
isn't it? It
doesn't really matter. It's the same one that John Cusack plays on in Say Anything. And he's oops.
And I love the fact that Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Yukio are just standing outside, just looking at him like, "What are you doing?"
It's hilarious. And then he thinks that Colossus is ignoring him, and then but of course Colossus ends up. Yeah,
Colossus. So we'll just assume Colossus ignored him for now because Colossus doesn't join him right there, right? So Domino, Cable, Dopinder, and Deadpool head to the mutant re-education center that Russell and Juggernaut are going to
the foster home,
take out to burn it down. Yeah, the foster home.
And they show up there, and it's kind of cool actually. The whole scene plays out pretty nice.
Yeah, they get there, and like a bunch of the guys for the guards for the foster home come out and start attacking him, and just really cool scene where Domino has to goes in to try and save the kids and try to get around Russell. And
you find out that Domino was there too. She lived there too.
Oh yeah. Domino went there as a kid too. Yeah. And then this is where Colossus shows up.
And then it's cue the music.
Yep. And they start fighting Juggernaut, and then Deadpool and Cable start taking out all the guys like their team, and it's some funny jokes about them, being a team at the end. Cable's like, no.
Yeah. And this is the big climatic fight scene where Colossus, of course, Colossus and Juggernaut have to go toe to toe. And then
Juggernaut's a lot bigger than Colossus.
He is.
Too.
He's huge. It's actually a really cool way that they. So Juggernaut is full on CG, and he looks amazing. He really does. He's huge.
So Colossus.
Colossus looks amazing too, and I just love it because they beat the Juggernaut by pulling down his pants, sticking an electric cable up his ass, and throwing him in a pond. Yep. And then he gets.
Yep. That's how you do it.
I don't know if he dies.
He's not dead. He's not dead. He's not dead.
But he's got to get out of that pond. He doesn't come out of the pond. Let's just put it that way. That's the last that we see.
We don't see him come out of the pond. We don't see him out of the pond. Yeah.
Good.
What's great though is before they start fighting, Deadpool goes, cue CG fight scene.
Yeah. And there's the big fight scene with, like, you know what made me laugh in this movie and we didn't talk about it was, and Ryan Reynolds, I don't know who noticed this, but they're totally right, was when Deadpool starts talking, did anybody ever notice that Yentl, People, and Do You Want to Build a Snowman are basically the same song? And I was like, holy shit, he's right.
I was like, oh my God, they so are.
I've never, he's all people. Was it People? Was that the one he was doing? You want to build a snowman?
I can't
remember. People who need people. So I don't know. But it's just so fun.
Yeah, it's the same tune.
Yeah. The melody is very similar. Let's put it that way. Yeah. And I was like,
it's pretty funny.
I've never noticed that before.
Never heard that, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
So we get to they kill all the guards, and Domino rescues the kids, and then that whole scene where she like takes out all those guards inside, and it's all like just happenstance after happenstance of how they all got knocked out and dies.
Yeah, because it's Domino. Which
the one guy falls and hits and falls on his own knife and kills himself, and then the bookshelves fall over.
I can tell you right now, this movie made me go out and buy Domino #1.
Oh, did it?
Oh yeah, because
nice.
The one thing that's funny is Domino reminds me of a character from a book that I read back in like 1985, 86, and there's a series of books called the Xanth series by Piers Anthony, and the first book is, I think it's called A Spell for Chameleon. And it deals with a guy named Bing. And Bing's character isn't luck. It's he can't be hurt by anything magical, which is great when you live in a land that's all magical.
Right. Very helpful.
But it becomes the same type of thing where things just happen in circumstance to allow him, like, because a magical dragon attacked him, then this tree fell, and then this happened, and then this happened, and this happened, and then a rock fell on the dragon and killed the dragon, and and all he did was walk through the field. Kind of thing,
right?
And then you had Longshot too. She's very similar to who Longshot is,
right? No, she's awesome, and like they didn't explain it in this movie, and I wonder if they're going to go into it in a future movie. But like, her powers aren't just that she's lucky. Like the way I read it in one of the comics books was that her powers are that she inadvertently she's telekinetic, right? And her luck is the fact that she, without thinking about it, will telekinetically affect things in her favor,
right?
Like, if the guy points the gun at her and the gun's going to jam, it's not because the gun jams, because her power made that gun jam. Her telekinetic made it jam without her knowing about it, right? And that's her luck. Like, there's actually a reason why it happens. Not just that it's all happenstance. It's her mutant power makes this lucky stuff happen to her.
Right. Domino's a mutant with the ability to this is right out of Wikipedia. Domino is a mutant with the ability to subconsciously and psionically initiate random telekinetic acts that affect probability in her favor by making improbable but not impossible things occur within her line of sight, thus causing her to have good luck, in quotations, and her opponents to have bad luck, in quotations. This probability field, in quotations, phenomenon can be anything from an enemy's equipment failure to hitting just the right switch with a stray shot to shut down an overloading nuclear reactor. The full extent of her powers is still unknown. But that's a great way to actually say that's exactly what happens, and it's pretty cool. And I like the fact that they made her they changed her ethnicity in some ways, because the girl that played her, Zazie Beetz, was awesome.
She was so great.
I want her to have her own movie.
Dude, I would watch the shit out of a Domino movie with Zazie Beetz in it. Are you kidding me? That'd be so great.
Oh yeah, because she was really good, and she looked good, and she acted great, and she made that part her own. And I love the fact that in the comic books, her eye is circled in black, but in this it was whited out like a birthmark.
Right.
Which it just made it, I don't know, it just looked cool. If I was Marvel Comics, I'd be switching her up.
Right. There were some people who were pissed because the whole Domino's thing when she's Domino, she's black, she's white and black, like white, like a domino with a black dot on it, and her skin was pale white, and they,
why can't she be black with the white dot on?
Right. The whole, it's diversity for diversity's sake. I'm like, no, how about she was probably just the best actress for the job, and they made it work for her.
Yeah. I mean, this is a great example of when it was totally, completely cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Totally, completely didn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, any of them doesn't really matter. Like, you can have Peter Parker and Spider-Man be a black kid.
Yeah.
Still, just as long as it's still Peter Parker. That was my whole point with
Miles Morales.
It wasn't that he was the ethnicity factor. It was just that you can't call anybody but Peter Parker Spider-Man. That's what drove me nuts. And if he's a black kid or an Asian, I care less. You know what I mean? It's the shared conscious relationship that you have with that character that matters. Where they're from or who ethnicity they are should be irrelevant, especially in America.
As long as you capture the spirit of the character, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and they did it, and she did a perfect job.
Yeah, she was great. She was fantastic.
So there you go. And then, but okay, we kind of digressed.
Right. What we always do. We're at the scene at the end now where it's basically Russell trying to kill the headmaster and Cable saying, you got 30 seconds, and Deadpool trying to talk him down.
Yep. And
oh, wait, hold on. I wanted to say real quick, I thought it was hilarious when Domino was doing her thing. She's like, man, I need a bus ride. I need a bus.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
The bus hits the floor.
They're like,
and they slide down the bus.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Right, well, that works. Works. All right.
That's her telekinesis in action.
So Russell versus the headmaster now, and Deadpool's trying to convince him not to shoot him.
Right. So Russell has the headmaster, and I loved it because Russell kept making him say the line that he always says while he's torturing the kids.
Right.
Which is something with the wicked, right? I don't remember what the line is.
The wicked are divine. The wicked are through these hands. The wicked are healed, or some shit like that.
So yeah, it kind of sounded like a Bible. It was weird. It was it was very. I don't know, man. I wanted him to kill the fucker.
Right. I kind of did too.
But so Russell's following him through the school. He's setting everything on fire. Luckily, Domino has gotten the kids out, and they get outside, and Deadpool is trying to talk Russell out of killing this guy.
And talking Cable out of killing Russell.
No, because he's gave him 30 seconds.
Yeah, but he's like, come on, man, time's ticking.
Yeah. And then, of course, what happens?
So they're doing it, and then they realize that Russell's about to go ahead and kill him, and so Deadpool jumps, goes to like the super slow jump off the slide to get in front of him because Cable's also sliding on to get his gun to shoot Russell before he can kill the headmaster, and essentially Deadpool puts on before that Deadpool puts on a collar on his the inhibitor collar on. I forgot that. That's important. So rewind. So Deadpool goes, fuck this, I got one more thing to try. He puts on the inhibitor collar again that he had saved around for some reason to take away his powers, doesn't heal, and basically sacrifices himself to save Russell by saying, if you're going to kill somebody, kill me. Yep. Cable goes to get the gun to shoot. Deadpool jumps across to stop it and basically puts himself in between the gun and Russell and takes the bullet for Russell instead.
Yep. And then Russell is like,
turning point for Russell.
You do care about me.
Yeah.
Which is basically the thing. And then comes the 20-minute long death scene of Deadpool, which cracked me up, man. It was like so classic and so perfect. And I can't go through because I won't give any of the lines that Ryan Reynolds delivers any justice, but just say it literally takes him a good 5 minutes to die.
He keeps dying and going, well, I'm still here, man. It's so hard to go.
Yeah, everybody walks away and he's like, It was pretty good. And as that happens, Cable, which apparently this was a thing that I think they must have cut out because you didn't know that he was running out of power.
Well, Cable had mentioned earlier that he had 2 jumps in it. He had 1 jump to get there and 1 jump to get home.
Yeah, see, I don't remember that at all. I don't remember, they didn't, I don't know. So anyways, Cable jumps, but he jumps back not that long. Like
he jumps back to right before they get to the mansion. Or
that's
to
right. That's right.
Foster care.
That's right. And he pats Deadpool on his chest. Oh, you know what's okay. he passed Deadpool on the chest. We kind of missed something, which was again foreshadowing, but that's okay. And they go through, and then they fast forward through all the same scenes because you just watched it, and then it goes to the point where Cable shoots him. But this time, Cable had put in a little lead token. In the significance of the token is that it was the gift that he had given Vanessa at the beginning from their first date. And then he had taken it after she died, and he was carrying it. And in the prison scene, Cable took it as a trophy because he beat Deadpool. Because he basically beat Deadpool during the fight. Right.
And then he put it on his chest to where when he shot, instead of shooting Deadpool, he shot this little lead coin, which saved his life. So God, we missed a whole huge foreshadowing thing from the beginning of the movie.
That's all right. We explained it. It's
fine. Right. Fuck it. We're gonna cancel this, re-record.
Yeah. And then of course that saves everything. Deadpool survives, which he's probably kind of mad about because there's a whole like scene of him reconnecting with Vanessa, and it was like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, but she tells him it's not your time. You have to go back.
Only after the fact that they show him going back in time, and then she realizes it, because at first I don't think she knows that's going to happen. I think there's an actual because time travel is unnatural. So I think there's an actual like realization. Oh, something's happening now. It's not
your time.
Right.
Yeah, it's not your time. You need to go back, and you need your family needs you.
Yeah, and this new family is Cable, the Russell, Domino, Dopinder, Weasel, Colossus.
Well, Weasel's not there, but Colossus is there.
Yeah, he must have called in the bomb threat by then. And then I don't know. I'm just talking shit. But they did that. It was kind of, I don't know. It was a little cheesy, but kind of cool at the same time because you gone through this whole thing with all these people. And then, and then it comes back. It comes back, and then they're in the mansion, and it was kind of funny because the credit scenes happen. And you know what we should start calling these episodes? What? Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go.
I was say before that, when he comes back and Cable saves him, he immediately goes into annoying ass Deadpool. Oh, you did it to save me. You missed me, didn't you? It was for me, right? Yeah, no, it was for me, right? For me, right?
Right. Well, all that other stuff might have been forgotten because that hasn't happened.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So now it's all annoying Deadpool to Cable, and Cable's like, oh, why did I do this?
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty funny. You know what we should start calling these though, because this isn't a review. This is a breakdown.
Yeah, it's a breakdown.
Yeah.
It's a breakdown with commentary.
It's a breakdown with commentary. Yeah. It's a terrible breakdown with commentary.
It's a terrible breakdown with moderate commentary.
Yeah. Moderate, shitty, whatever.
Moderate rock. But yeah, so
So anyways, credits start rolling, and then we get some cool after credit scenes, of course, during the middle of the stuff. And the first one they show is Negasonic fixing the watch. And then she gives it to
the
Deadpool.
time travel thing.
Yeah, and she's like, "Did we just make a mistake?"
This is gonna be a bad idea.
Yeah, this is gonna be a bad idea. But it's kind of cool because Deadpool goes back and he saves all of the X-Force people.
Well, no, he saves Vanessa. The only one they show is him saving Peter. They don't show him saving anybody else but Peter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's implied that he may have saved others, but they only show him saving Peter.
He probably did save the others, but I mean, they leave it open. That's for sure.
But probably not Shatterstar because he doesn't like Shatterstar.
Right. So, but he saves Vanessa. So she's back. So even though at the beginning I was telling you that I didn't like the fact that they killed her off right away, she's back.
It didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
And then he travels back in time to.
But there's a part of me that
X-Men Origins,
even worse.
Yeah, I mean whatever.
Yeah,
but then he travels back in time to X-Men Origins Wolverine, and
that's right. He goes,
They showed the original Deadpool character from that movie,
and he shoots him in the head, and then shoots him like a bunch of times while he's on the ground.
And then you see Hugh Jackman with the claws out, and he's like, "No, don't worry about it. I'm just fixing timelines," and to keep shooting him. And so technically, Hugh Jackman's been in a Deadpool movie through archival footage, but still.
Yeah, right. And then my favorite scene, not my favorite scene, but one of the funniest scenes is you see somebody opening up a manila envelope, and he pulls it out, and it's the Green Lantern script.
You finally hit the big time, Ryan.
And then, bam!
You're welcome, Canada.
Oh, that's the part that cracked me up, dude. When he was talking about when Shatterstar was saying, "Oh, basically, I can do everything you guys do, but better."
Right.
Right. And he's like, man, I wish we had a place like that I can go to and I'm just better than everybody else. And Weasel's like, don't you, isn't that Canada? Fuck you. Oh, that cracked me up, man. I mean, obviously we've totally butchered these lines and you guys should go see so you can hear it for yourself.
You should definitely go see Deadpool 2.
Yeah. But hopefully you've already seen it before you listened to this massively spoiler-filled breakdown / review. I mean,
if for some reason you've listened to this first, hit us up on Twitter and tell us why. I'd be curious.
And then say, fuck you guys for doing all that. I think
so. That's all
that
of
might
the
be
movie.
A show
what's
there,
your
dude?
Well, before we get to that, the show. What's your final thought in the movie? I'm kind of curious. What's your final thought? Do you think it was better than the first one, just as good as the first one, or just totally different than the first one?
That's a good question, man. Was it better?
Yeah.
I don't know that it was better or worse. It was just different. I mean,
I feel the same way. I don't feel like it was better. I don't think it was worse. I feel like it was just as good but different.
Yeah, I think that has to do with a new director and the way he did it. But it was different in its execution. But the guy did a really good job, and so it was like, I don't know, man. I thought it was great. I liked the added characters like Domino, and I liked the fact that Colossus was a bigger part of the movie this time. Because I loved Colossus.
It didn't feel like the last movie. It felt like its own new movie.
Yeah. I think that was one of the biggest things I did like about it. I know I left that theater going, I want to see that again.
Me too.
And
that's the first thing I said.
Yeah, and I really, I don't know, I really, really enjoyed it, man. I mean, it was just, I laughed so much. The thing is this is one of the few characters that I pretty much prefer just watching the movie than reading the book.
Yeah, I don't really like too much of the comics. Although there was, I meant to mention earlier, there was an Easter egg shout out to Gail Simone in this movie.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, because Gail Simone wrote Deadpool for a little while, and in one of the beginning scenes, he goes, "Oh, hi, it's Gail," and that's a shout out to Gail Simone.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah,
there's lots of shout outs. There's lots of Easter eggs in this movie, and to various comic book creators. One of the things Deadpool does right is it does a lot of shout outs to the actual creators of the comics.
Yeah. The only thing I do worry if the deal goes through and Disney ends up owning the rights to this, that we're not going to get this kind of stuff. And
me too. About that.
And I know that you're like, oh, we'll just do a movie, and if it ends up being PG-13, it ends up being PG-13. But the fact that they know that they can go rated R, and the studio is going to allow it, and the studio's going to be okay with it, it just gives them that freedom that I don't see how you could do this movie and have this much fun without going where they went, No. And
I do think I still do stand by the fact that I think it would be hilarious if this Fox deal goes through and like Deadpool 3 is like a PG-13. Not it is they kind of play the joke, right? I think it'd be hilarious if they play the joke of, oh, Disney has bought us, now we have to go PG-13, right? And kind of ride that joke for a little while somehow. And I don't know how you would get into it to get out of it, but I still think
but the violence would be so toned down to keep that rating. It's not so much the language too; it's the it's the gratuitous violence that's in it.
I don't think this one certainly happened. I don't
really get ripped in half.
Well, yeah, there was that, but overall, I mean, there wasn't like, I don't know. I just didn't see this being a very violent movie overall, but comparatively,
I don't know, man.
Like there wasn't like nobody was getting chopped up. There wasn't like people getting blown away. And there was, but there wasn't like,
dude, they put a guy through a wood chipper, and then he spit and his freaking half his freaking body basically melted away, and then he gets ripped in half. Dude, you can't do that in a PG-13. It won't pass the rating.
Yeah, I guess maybe not.
I mean, it's just
I just don't.
I get what you're saying.
I just don't think it was that bad. I just don't think it was that bad.
You can't give me 2 rated R movies of that and then give me a toned down version. And do you know how not ostracized, but do you know how much shit Disney would catch if they said, "Oh, we're going to give you a PG-13 version now that you've had 2 rated Rs"?
Yeah, but do you know how big of how much free press that would give them if they did that for the first 2 months, saying they're doing that, and then release this and be R?
Well, that would be different. That's a totally different thing.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I was saying. Ride the coattails of PG-13 of this whole Disney buy-in thing for a couple of months in the promotional period, and then flip it back to what it's supposed to be in the end. Like that would just, if they did that successfully, that would just give them a ton of free press.
Yeah, that's true. That's different. I thought you were saying no, just do the PG-13. I'm just like, man, it'd just be hard to to grasp them doing that. So that's what the thing. But that doesn't mean that they can't release it under Miramax.
Right. I mean,
Do they own Miramax? Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yeah, they own Miramax. Yeah. I mean, they own lots of studios.
They do rated R stuff. And that's the thing too, is like you can't really be too concerned with it because Disney over the years has released a ton of adult stuff.
Well, they own a ton of studios, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. But anyways, that's a show.
That is a show. I think we're good.
That's a show.
Don't forget, guys, we are everywhere podcasts are heard. So you got a podcatcher on your phone, just, dial it up, do a little search-a-poo for some Spoiler Country, and there we are.
A little search-a-poo.
Yep, and just subscribe, and you'll get all our new stuff. Especially if you liked what you heard today. This is not a normal episode, so it's a little, we had like really good notes up until almost near the end, and then we kind of winged it.
yeah, because somebody got lazy on the last part of it.
Oh, that's okay. It got late, so we forgive you, Johnny. And then...
Yeah, I forgive me too.
And then where can they actually talk with us?
Well, see, if you come to my house, you can talk to me. If you know my phone number, you can call me or text me, and I'll talk to you there too. But if you don't know that stuff, you can hit us up on Twitter at spoiler_country. You can email us at spoilercountry@gmail.com. Check out our website, scpod.net. Yep. You can hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on Facebook. You can give us a phone call, leave us a voicemail at 707-656-2080. And again, that is 707-656-2080. Leave us a voicemail. We have plans to use those, as I told you before, but we're holding them for now.
That's right. We're holding them for now. We're going to build some up, and then we'll have some fun with them. So there you guys go. Deadpool 2 in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you had as much fun listening as we did talking about it. And if I took too long on Cable and Thanos, I'm sorry. It's
okay.
But
it's okay.
It's my fucking podcast. I can do that.
Well, it's half your podcast. You can have to do that.
All right. I'll take it. It's not even our podcast. It's everybody else's.
Right. There you go.
All right, guys. We're out of here. Don't forget, open up that mind and go read something.